At this time, I'd like to call the regular meeting to order. The time now is 7:01 on October 2nd, 2018. Requirements of the Sunshine Law have been met. This meeting was advertised in the Burlington County Times on January 5th of 2018. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can I ask you to join me in a moment of silence? Thank you. Roll call.
Committeeman Henley.
Present.
Committeewoman Hines.
Present.
Committeewoman Smith-Hartman. Mayor Wisniewski.
Present. At this time, we will ask for approval of today's agenda.
Moved.
Second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Henley.
Yes.
Hines.
Yes.
Wisniewski.
Yes. Approval of the minutes, the regular meeting minutes of September 18th, 2018, the closed executive session minutes 9/18/18, and the workshop session minutes of September 18th, 2018.
Moved.
Second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Henley.
Yes.
Hines.
Yes.
Wisniewski.
Yes. Scheduled appointments today, there are none. And at this time, I'd like to open the floor to the public for comment on agenda items only. No,
You have to press the button
Hold the
until it
button.
stays green. There's a little button, just press it. And you have to talk right into it.
Speak right into it.
Yep.
There you go.
Good evening, Gary Barbarian, 138 Winstead. I am rising to comment on an item on the agenda. It is number 14, resolution. It is letter C of the resolutions, 138-1-18, the vacancy on Township Committee resolution. So I was looking through that resolution, and I am a little bit puzzled, and that's why I wanted to kind of comment on it. I just want to establish a couple of facts. Our township does not have a specific ordinance that discusses vacancies for elected officials. Isn't that right?
I'm sorry, can you say it
I
again?
just want to confirm a couple of facts. Our township we do not have an ordinance specifically discussing how we fill vacancies of elected officials.
Specific to West Hampton, I believe we do not.
No, we're subject to the New Jersey municipal vacancy
Right,
law.
okay, that's what I was
Which is
thinking.
statutory.
Right, I understand that. Okay, good. So it's a fact then we are governed by the vacancies in certain elected municipal offices, the short title, the municipal vacancy law. That act does define when a vacancy occurs. It's 40A 16-3, provides for the definition of vacancies. Okay? Now, on the 21st, Committee Person Lopez vacated his office when he submitted his letter of resignation to the township clerk. Is that still accurate? He did resign that day, on the 21st?
Yes, at the 21st meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, at the meeting.
So when that happens, if he's resigning, then 40A 16-3 subsection F is triggered, right? So we then have to look to how the municipality fills its vacancy. So there's two sections in the statute. 16-5 applies to us, I believe, which is filling vacancies in municipalities holding a general election, which applies to our body of government, correct?
No, I think you're looking at the wrong section.
We're looking
I think
at
that
regular-
applies to the nonpartisan form of government. You have to look at the partisan statute, which I believe is section 11, off the top of my head. I could look at it with you if you'd like, but they're granted you have to be careful which one you're looking at, because the partisan and nonpartisan filling of municipal vacancies is very different.
No, I understand that, but there's two sections that say when you have to fill a vacancy. It's either for municipalities that have a general election or municipalities that hold a regular municipal election. Either one of those, however which one we are, would then trigger the application of 16A-11. So first we have to define that we're operating under 16-5, which I believe we are, because we're partisan, and it's a general election that's held in November. So my research indicates that we are a municipality that holds general elections. So therefore, the provisions of that particular section would control how we apply 16A-11.
So okay, all right, I'll follow you. Okay.
All right?
All right.
So if that's the case, assuming I'm right about that, then that date of the 21st is significant for when he resigned, because that starts triggering the 15-day, up to 15 days. That clock has started. Now, I don't know who the Republicans are, and frankly, I'm not interested in, I just want good government by good people who are smart and capable. According to the resolution, it says that the Republican Party submitted their list of 3 nominees on the 22nd of August, okay? So while their clock has run, your clock is running at the same time. You have up to 30 days to act. So you get the 3 names, right? I don't know how you would do it. The statute is silent. I don't know if you pull a name out of a hat or if you interview the 3 people or what. But the purpose of the legislation is not to slow walk the appointment, because we, the electorate, eventually end up getting hurt because there isn't going to be enough, majority votes for important legislation. So the clock is running at this point. So by the 20th of September, you would have had to act and pick one of those 3 names. Now, if you refused, right, it would kick back to the Republican Committee, who has an additional 15 days, up to 15 days. So they have technically until the 5th of October. Now, they can only then, at that point, give you one of those 3 nominees, and you must accept it, and that person has to be sworn in immediately according to the statute. So my objection to the resolution is that you're stating in paragraph 4 of the resolution, Mr. Guerrero declined the appointment to the Township Committee by written notification on September 20th. And then in paragraph 5 is, whereas Mr. Guerrero has failed to qualify under the statute by refusing the oath. That's not correct, according to the statute. The statute provides a definition of when an office is vacant. It specifically says there are 7 sections, right, A through H, which defines what a definition of when a vacancy occurs. Guerrero does not meet any of those definitions. He's not a member of a governing body. By you appointing him and him refusing doesn't create a vacancy. The vacancy is ongoing. It still exists. There is currently a current vacancy.
Respectfully, Mayor, I disagree with your reading, and because it would create a situation where a committee, the local Republican committee, could provide 3 names under your scenario, have 2 of those people just fail to take the oath, thus subverting the role of the committee in the process. The committee made its decision. It chose its name. That individual failed to qualify under the definition of qualification by refusing the oath. There is no other action to be taken but then to now create a new vacancy by his failure to qualify. Otherwise, if we read it the way you read it, the committee's role the committee lacks a role in the process. So it would be a nifty way to get around the whole idea that 3 names are provided to the committee, and then the committee has an opportunity to act.
But that's, according to case law, which I've looked up on this, it disagrees with what you just said, okay? It does not leave into the hands of the committee to select what a partisan committee would nominate. I understand what you're saying. There's backroom politics all the time. There could be some shenanigans going on, right? If they had their chance to vote against the 3 nominees, right, they would then submit 1. The one person that they didn't presumably appoint, it says, well, I'm not interested, I just won't take the office. Right. He's not a member of a governing body. The only way you can create a vacancy is if you're a member of a governing body. By virtue of the fact he is not a member of a governing body, he himself cannot create a vacancy and restart the clock.
But he was duly appointed, though. He was, by resolution, duly appointed by...
But it says in the statute, has to be a member of a governing body. By the fact that he's appointed, doesn't mean he's took...
I would disagree. I think he is a member by the virtue of the fact that he was appointed.
And I'm sorry, Gary. Himself up to litigation because
Your time has expired, I'm
I
sorry.
just urge you to vote against the resolution and amend it accordingly.
I think that we can
Thank you.
consider amending it in the future. Thank you. Anyone else for comment on agenda items? With there being no more comment, floor is closed. Monthly reports are posted on the bulletin board outside. There happen to be no monthly reports out there. There is no old business. American Recycles Day is November 15th, 2018. There is an action needed in order to take part in this. This is I believe this is the e-recycling of the for proper disposal of.
Did you want me to comment on
Yeah,
that?
please. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
it's a joint electronic waste recycling day, going to be held with Mount Holly, East Hampton, West Hampton, and Lumberton. I believe Hainesport bowed out. The cost was initially said to be $400 per
Yeah.
township. Now, because they're not taking part, it's $450. We can take the funds from our recycling tonnage grant line item. We have a lot of money in there from the recycling tonnage grants. And this would enable residents of West Hampton to get rid of things like TVs, which have become really problematic to dispose of. There's not many places where you can, bring them. People put them out on the curb, and then they're taken apart. So, I would, as the recycling coordinator, I would urge the committee to approve this day at an expense of $450.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Henley?
Yes.
Hines?
Yes.
Wisniewski?
Yes. Ordinances, there are none. Resolution 129-18, payment of vouchers. This resolution approves the payment of bills through October 2nd, 2018.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Henley?
Yes.
Hines?
Yes.
Wisniewski?
Yes. Resolution 130-18, Chapter 159. This resolution approves the insertion of a special item of revenue into the 2018 budget, FEMA AFG grant in the amount of $111,429.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Henley?
Yes.
Hines?
Yes.
Wisniewski?
Yes. Resolution 131-18, vacancy on the Township Committee. This resolution authorizes the clerk to receive 3 names to be submitted for consideration by the Township Committee to fill the vacancy created when David Guerrero refused the oath of office to fill the vacancy created by Mr. Lopez's resignation.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Henley?
Yes.
Hines?
Yes.
Wisniewski?
Yes. Resolution 132-18, cancel the taxes on Block 1704, Lot 30. This resolution cancels and refunds taxes on a property declared exempt for a 100% disabled veteran.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Henley?
Yes.
Hines?
Yes.
Wisniewski?
Yes. Resolution 133-18, authorized purchase of ball field safety netting. This resolution authorizes the purchase of safety netting for the Township Sports Complex and awards the contract to Creative Concepts at a cost of $189,757. This resolution was previously numbered 123-18 and have been tabled at the September 4th, 2018 meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Henley.
Yes.
Hines.
Yes.
Wisniewski.
Yes. Resolution 134-18, terminate employment agreement. This resolution terminates the employment contract between West Hampton Township and Administrator Maria Carrington effective October 19th, 2018.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Henley.
Yes.
Hines.
Yes.
Wisniewski.
Yes. Correspondences. We have a letter from the Township of Burlington County Engineers regarding the speed limits and travel signals on county roads. PSE&G, we have a notice for public hearings for zero emission certificate recovery charge. Do any committee members have any liaison reports that they'd like to add?
Only report that I have is with Timbuktu Day. I did have an opportunity to speak to Guy Weston, and he just talked about how much it grew. And most of the reason that it did grow was the Timbuktu Committee put so much more into it. Year after year, as it continues to grow and it continues to get comfortable with the day, but also the residents and everyone's involvement with coming out and joining together as a community. So on behalf of the Timbuktu Committee, I'd like to thank everyone who was involved and everyone who took the time to come out and join together as a community. So thank you.
Thank you.
With regard to the school boards, the next school board meeting is Wednesday, October 10th. They're usually the second Monday, but because of Columbus Day, it is moved. Also, as liaison to the West Hampton Township Emergency Services, if you were here at the tail end of the workshop, there's some real issues that we need to make sure are a priority. I know Ms. Berkeley has been a strong advocate. She voiced some concern at the last meeting about taking care of our fire department, so we need to make sure that we do make that a priority.
And you know what? Let me jump right back in again. Can we go out of turn? Is that?
Go ahead. I will allow it.
That's so funny. Also, don't forget about West Hampton Fall Festival, 6 to 9 on October 26th. We usually get a lot of community that comes out. Please continue to support. It's something that I know my kids definitely look forward to. So.
I do not have anything to add. It's business as usual with my departments. Dates to remember: October 4th from 6 to 8 p.m. The West Hampton Township Emergency Services Fire Safety Rocks concert at the Burlington County Amphitheater. October 11th, West Hampton Township Emergency Services Open House is from 6 to 9 p.m. at West Hampton Firehouse. The October 13th PTO Fun Run, the rain date will be the next day, October 14th. I have an additional day that I'd like to add. I believe the chief, we spoke before about October 20th. The Special Services School is planning a trunk or treat. I'm sure the details are still being worked out. I believe that the fire department and the police department are going to have some vehicles there, so we recommend people coming out to that. October 26th is our Fall Festival, which will be at the sports complex. Seems to be getting better and better every year. Hopefully we can hope for 65-degree evening instead of last year's 40-degree day. And I do believe we have one more thing that I do not have a date. I believe the police department is planning the movie night, but we.
I believe Sergeant Brooks scheduled that for October the 19th. I'll get with him tomorrow morning and get the details.
Yeah, as soon as we have information, we'll make sure that we get that out to the public. And now I would like to open the floor to the public for comment. Ms. Berkeley?
Mayor, on October 6th, this Saturday, is the Red Coat Stand Dinner.
Oops.
From 4 to 7. There's takeout as well as sit down. Takeout is really nothing but 2 meals. And it's a very good price, and we wish all would come and support. If anyone has
to peel some potatoes?
I'm not a bad potato masher.
Good potato eater.
No kid.
Would you like to comment while the floor is yours?
That's my comment.
Okay, thank you.
Stumble.
Hi, Gary Rivera, 138 Winstead. Trying to keep my comments brief. Last week I went to the Willingboro MUA meeting. I'm really hoping one of you guys are going to be able to make it there one day. First of all, I did thank Director Weber for sending the notices to the township. I just asked him to update the caption from our previous administrator, Donna Ryan, to you, Marion. That's what their rules require, that they send it to the township clerk. So I did ask them to update their records. Their website's clunky. I had a problem getting minutes from their website when I went. They didn't have anything posted beyond April. I looked just this evening, and they finally did post their June minutes up there. But it'd be helpful to see the minutes, honestly. And they said that they were working on getting their website updated with their vendor. So the more data we have, the better we can be informed. So hopefully we'll get those minutes. There is going to be a meeting on October the 17th at 4:30 p.m. It is up on their calendar now, and that's going to be an important date, and I really do think one of you should go. It's going to be in October when they're discussing the budget.
What day is the
Oh, you're going to love it. It's 4:30 p.m.
No, but what is
The
the day?
17th, October. It's a Wednesday. Yeah. And so they're going to be talking about their budget. So I think it'll be helpful if one of you guys can go. They also discussed having a vendor fair in October. Now, they're doing some pretty significant capital improvements. I don't know if you saw this, but they're going to try to build onto their headquarters, so it's some pretty significant capital expenditures. And to their credit, and to the committeeman who goes from Willingboro to the meetings, he's trying to source it all locally from Willingboro. Now, I don't know if they consider West Hampton local or not, but we need to maybe have some conversations with those folks and get West Hampton businesses to be considered, quote, local for when they're sourcing some of these contracts, right? I want our neighbors to benefit from it. So that's just my suggestion there. So we need to get some more information, or maybe you guys can get some more information about that vendor fair. And also, they are trying to prepare the young people for skilled trades in the future, and they were looking at sourcing grants to be part of however they're awarding contracts in the future. So I don't know what we have in the township in terms of the skill building trades for young people, et cetera. So maybe, again, we could go into a nice partnership with them. And again, it has to be something that is feasible for everybody. They also mentioned something about mandatory copper lead testing for schools and child care facilities. Does that sound right to you guys? I think it might be a fairly recent law. And it's a moneymaker for them. I guess these schools, they can contract with whomever to test for copper and lead. And so if the schools and child care facilities in our township have to complete these tests, and they do source it from Willingboro, I'm hoping as a good neighbor they would give our schools a bit of a break and maybe give a discount. I don't know. I'm just putting it out there in case you guys want to talk about it.
Well, we can look into that.
And then I also went to the freeholders meeting. That was the same night, but a couple hours later. And the only thing that caught my attention there was a resident from Marlton who was awarded some funds under a block grant for some home improvement. I don't know if we get any of those here in the township, if individuals are receiving any funds from the county for block grant. It might be worthwhile to get...
I'm sorry. We can catch up afterwards, and I can probably take some better notes, because everything that you bring to our attention is always worth investigating. So thank you. Anyone else for comment? With there being no more comment, we will close the floor to the public. Comments from the committee members.
Ladies first.
I just thank everyone for coming out. I have nothing further tonight.
thanks to the department heads, thanks for the residents. You know, it's always good to have a full courtroom, fuller than normal. Again, thank you, and have a wonderful evening.
I'd like to thank everybody else for coming out too. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make Timbuktu Day, but I do know that a lot of the people that I talked to had gone there and spoke very highly of it. I want to thank Guy Weston for going above and beyond. I know he put a lot on his plate, and it was a huge success. And other than that, I'd like to ask for a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So move.
Second.
Adjourn.